Hey guys, it's me, Mario again, and today we're going to continue the Nuke, the Mountain, the Snow Monster. Not the Mountain Giant, that was the third book. This is the fifth one, not the third. No, the fourth, yeah, the third one was, right, this is the Nuke. The Nuke, the Snow Monster, Chapter 6, The Rescue. Hope you guys are doing great. Hello, you new subscribers out there. Hope you're having a good day. Hopefully I get to upload every Saturday, but I'm not really sure if that's a possibility, but Alright, here we go. The Rescue. Helena! Tom yelled. With a feeling of panic, he saw that she had vanished beneath the ice. Silver howled and leaped from the sleigh, scrambling at the hole Helena had made in the ice. But Tom realized she probably couldn't see the hole and must be swimming under the ice, trying desperately to fight her way back up. To the surface, back up to the surface. In the freezing water, she would hardly be able to breathe. Time was already running out. Trying not to make any sudden movements, Tom slid down from the sleigh and fell to his knees, hunting for the tiniest flash of movement under the fractured ice. Every second counted. How long could Helena survive in the freezing water? How long could she hold her breath? Helena! He shouted. He shouted again, sliding on his knees across the ice. Just then, a shadowy blue outline appeared beneath the ice, some distance from the hole where Helena had fallen into the water. Tom leaped to his feet and pulled his sword from his side. Taking a huge breath, he struck the hilt against the ice with all his might. This had to work, but in despair, he saw that the ice was thicker in this part and couldn't break. Come on, he shouted and drove the hilt again towards the ice with all his strength. By now he could see Helena's hands pressed up against the ice below him. She was going to drown unless he could get her out right now. As the hilt of the sword smashed down, the ice shattered and Helena reared up above the water, gasping for breath and already blue with cold. Grab a hold of me, Tom yelled. He reached for Helena's hands, but she was flailing about, splashing hard and trying to keep herself afloat. Don't panic, you'll use up your strength. But Helena dipped under the brilliant blue-green water again. Tom thrust his arm into the hole and cried out in pain. It was colder than anything he had ever experienced. In seconds, he lost almost all feeling in his hand. When Elena resurfaced once more, "Help, Tom!" she gasped, but she was struggling only feebly now. Tom knew that if she went down another time, she would not rise again. He could not fail her. He lunged forward with his freezing arm, gritting his teeth against the bitter cold. After all, he only had his arm in the water. Elena's whole body was submerged in the freezing temperature. "Hook your arm around mine," he said. "I've got you." Stuttering violently in the water, Elena managed to raise her arm. But her hold on him was very weak. Tom was starting to shiver too. Dogs. He knew he had to get her out, but his arm was so numb he couldn't move it. Suddenly, Tom felt a pleasure on the backs of his legs. It was Silver. The wolf had the reins of the sleigh in his teeth, and was hooking them around his waist. At once, Tom understood what he was trying to do. Storm was going to pull them both to safety. "Silver!" Tom cried, relief floating through him. "You clever wolf." He reached forward and tucked his free hand under Elena's armpit. He heard Silver bark twice, and then felt himself being hauled backwards. Together, he and Storm were towing Elena out of the hole in the ice. Tensing his muscles, Tom managed to hold onto his friend as Storm dragged them both off the fragile ice, then into safer, thicker ice. His heart was pounding like a hammer in his chest. When Storm finally stopped, Tom scrambled to his feet and helped Elena up. Together they stumbled back to the sleigh. Tom lifted Elena into the back seat and covered her with her fur-lined coat. It was lucky she had thrown it off before she had fallen into the water. If it was the only warm, dry piece of clothing that they had. "I'm fine," shuddered Elena, trying to smile. Silver whined and snuggled up to her, adding his own warmth to the coat. "It's curious," thought Tom, but even though the water's freezing, the temperature outside is still warm. Too warm. Lifting his head, he peered up at the sun and the blue sky. This wasn't the right weather for the north of Aventia. What was going on? Storm whined with concern, pressing his head against Tom's chest. And Tom rubbed his numb fingers against the stallion's black mane. There was a pounding in his head. It must be my racing pulse, Tom thought. Then he realized that the pounding was coming from somewhere else. It was a distant thumping sound. A regular, menacing rhythm, and the ice was trembling faintly beneath his feet. Tom listened hard. After a while, he heard a second sound, the far away tinkling of a bell. It put a chill in Tom's heart. The nuke, he whispered. And that was chapter 6. Whew. Every time I read this, still puts me in a panic. Here's Elena trapped under the ice. Tom's smashing a hole with his hilt. Coming up for air. Elena coming up for air. And them two being dragged out by Storm and Silver. And, yeah. Next week's will be chapter 7, Torn Apart. I hope you guys enjoy my Beast Quest readings. And, we're almost done with the first series. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and it's the 1st of December? No?
It's the 28th.
28th? Yeah. So it's still November? Okay. It's almost December, so. Almost made it through the year. We can make it. We can still make it till the last month of this year. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my videos. And I hope you like my art. See ya guys in the next video. Bye bye.